Today we are joined by Roshante. It's great to have you here, Roshante.
It's great to be here. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing?
We've met before, and when we started up this new studio, you were one of the people that we were really keen to get back in and talk to again because you left a huge impression on us and on lots of viewers across the internet. So firstly, thank you for your time.
No problem.
And I guess a couple of things at the beginning. One of the things I wanted to say is what we're going to talk about today, intersex, is a complex issue and quite a rare condition.
Yep.
If I say anything wrong, if I use the wrong terminology, please do correct me. Here to learn as well. So I know you're an easygoing guy, but...
I am indeed. Easygoing.
Starting from the start, I think a lot of people that come to a video like this might not know what intersex means. So there are older terms which are now outdated and people don't really use anymore.
Exactly.
But in your own words, what does it mean to be intersex?
It's like a battlefield, really. Mixed emotions from a psychological standpoint. From a physical standpoint, it can also mess with the mental health and the mental well-being of yourself on a day-to-day basis because your mind's constantly swapping and changing to what you want to be. Environment and stuff like that can also have a massive impact, as well as, sexual partners, relationships, friendships, and just how you feel about yourself on a day-to-day basis.
And physically, what does it actually mean?
It's about genitalia, really and truly for me. Hence the reason why I had the surgery. I don't know if a lot of you might remember when I always compared myself to a Domino's pizza half and half. That's basically how I felt when I had both a penis and a vagina. Since getting the vagina closed and since just having, both of my penises, I just feel like a man, and, I just try and live as authentic as I can. As a guy, really. Can
we get a list of the organs and the genitalia that you were born with?
So yeah, I was born with inverted testicles, and I had a micro penis, and also a vagina hole from birth. Lucky me.
If someone's watching this who's never heard of you before, how would you introduce yourself? What are you known for?
I'm known for being a nudist and just living as vulnerable as possible, really, and just bearing my naked truth left, right, and center. We were born naked, so I like to really show off my body a lot. I've done nude shoots with the likes of Harley Weir, and I've also got over 2 million views on my own YouTube channel for being completely butt naked. It's all about just showing off my body. I just love it, and other people love it as well. I've got a very unique looking body, to say the least.
So how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 28.
28. Okay. So when you were born 28 years ago, I'm imagining, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm imagining there wasn't loads of information around intersex in schools or taught or things like that. So what was it like growing up? Can you tell us a little bit about how it felt, if it felt different, and when you first started noticing difference?
So there was barely any information back when I was younger about intersex, or being the other term, which is obviously, as I always say, a more derogatory term, hermaphrodite. I always felt like because I didn't know any different, that I was pretty much normal. Then obviously as I got older and when puberty hit, I then noticed there was a massive difference between me and other people. And other people pointed it out to me as well. So I've always kind of been like alienated in a way, but also really accepted. It's quite strange. I feel like my overall confidence in the way I'm born and, what my God-given equipment is, that I've just learned to rock it and just accept it. And because of my inner confidence, it's gotten me a lot of love out there, a lot of support. Loads of people love me and understand and think my story is inspirational as hell.
And when you were born, what was your gender designated in the hospital when you left hospital?
So it's normally meant to be just cross for unidentified, but mine, I had F from when I was little, and that got changed when I was 11 to an M.
Okay, so your first few years of life, well, first 11 years, so more than a few, you were referred to as a girl, called a girl, used girls' changing rooms, is that correct?
Incorrect. Basically, because I was androgynous, my parents would allow people to just call me he, because that's what I looked like, and that's how I identified even from back then. I suppose in certain family circle situations, social situations, that's when they would call me a girl because, you know, my outer family did not understand anything to do with intersex, you know, due to religion and due to ignorance. Now they're way more understanding, to be fair. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to get a sense of how it must have felt for your outer family or your parents, because they'd brought you back from birth, being born,
Yeah.
and you had an F. So they'd been told you were female.
Exactly.
And then, you know, you had the genitalia that corresponded to a female.
Yeah.
But then from early on, you sort of presented male, like you said, you looked male. That must have been confusing for them, right? Like most people bring home a little girl, they dress, well, you know, this is an old fashioned way of saying it, but they put them in a pink room, they give them little princesses or whatever.
Exactly.
So do you know how your parents sort of were feeling about that?
It all came down to me because of how I felt and the way I dealt with finding out about being intersex. And even before that, when I look at my baby pictures, I was not in like pink or dresses. I was able to wear whatever I wanted to wear and stuff like that. Like my parents weren't forceful at all, and that's why I always say I feel like they must have subconsciously known. Sometimes you know things about your kid, but you just can't put a name to it because, like I said, even though intersex people have been around for ages, including the angels and all sorts, you know, they are all intersex, or, you know, like I said, hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites being the Greek god as well. So just more and more as we got to learn about it, and when we went to different places, met different other parents, you know, not many, but, you know, met other parents that have been through similar situations. Yeah, they kind of just grew a bigger understanding on it, and yeah, it just became more easier over time, really.
I mean, it's great you had that support network, and it sounds like now you're obviously like a hugely confident person.
Yeah.
Were you that when you were younger too? Have you always been very
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I guess that usually when you're growing up, you have something. Like I was really short, so people would say, "Oh, you know, you're short." I remember one of my friends had like really bad acne, so that was a thing. Another kid was overweight, something like that. So there's always something, but usually you kind of have that in yourself, and you think, "Why am I short?" Or "Am I going to grow more? Or am I going to change?" Like, did you ever have that sense of like feel a little bit different, or did you from the beginning just have a sort of unshakable confidence that protected you from any of that?
Unshakable confidence is a great way to be able to put it of what I have. I have an astounding amount of confidence and self-love for myself. If I could marry myself, I would, but I can't. If that becomes legal, though, I'm doing it. And yeah, I just feel like, you know, I just don't really let anything get to me. Like, I'm 5'8", so I'm not the tallest. I'm not the most biggest. I've not got, you know, like a, I don't know, big nose, prominent jaw or anything like that. I've got a very, even up till now, a very androgynous look to me, and I just love it. You know, never have I ever felt a way about myself at all. I'm in love with myself, and I feel like I've got good reason to be as well. I'm unique. I'm an individual who knows exactly what they want. And, you know, I'm very open, and I will never stop being open until the day that I die.